Okay, so Steve, you haven't voted yet. Wow, it's a tie. Okay. Enterprise versus Starship. Okay.
Enterprise!
If you think the USS Enterprise would win, signal by going. If you think the Imperial Star Destroyer would defeat the Enterprise, an extremely unlikely victory. Wow.
Clones, degrading clones over time, generational issues. Imagine what 5th generation clones are like.
I think you gotta break the tie.
I will change my vote if somebody gives me a fringe hat.
Look, Madison.
It's got to be a fringe hat. If somebody gives me a fringe hat,
we're going to come back to this. We're going to come back because it's indecisive.
It is. It was.
Defiant versus Nell. Jeff Bond. Defiant versus Nell.
Defiant.
Avery Brooks' oblong round object against Nell's 2-round oblong object. Give it to Nell.
Ashley Miller.
In the interest of time, are you kidding me? The Defiant.
I would just like to point out Avery Brooks is a pimp daddy. He doesn't even need the Defiant to get where he needs to go.
Would Nell be blinded by the reflection off Avery Brooks' head?
I think the Defiant would blow the shit out of Jodie Foster.
Defiant Foster.
Steve Nelson.
Avery Brooks had a goatee by the time the Defiant came along. Everyone knows goatees are badass. Defiant.
Well, as my father was 70, you're irrelevant, so let's just go with the...
My father said to me you're irrelevant, so...
Defiant.
Wow. A battle of Star Trek Titans in the semifinal round. Enterprise versus Defiant. The Enterprise versus Defiant, guys. This is tough. The Defiant was built to defeat the Borg, but it wasn't built to defeat another Federation vessel. You tell me. Rob Burnett. Wait. No, I'm coming back. I got a plan. What? Oh, you're right.
Clearly, he doesn't watch enough.
I think. Yeah, we haven't decided this. We're doing this first, and then we're going to come
It should be
back.
Darkstar versus the
Yes, but in this case, it is the Enterprise versus the Defiant. Because it's more interesting. Oh, yeah, wow. This track is such confusing. Okay, you know what? Give us throwing us off. We haven't finished this yet. And I've been trying to avoid it because it's so difficult. The Enterprise versus the Starship. You know, technically, it's a tie here. It's a tie out there. A very good idea. You're always in good spirits, but you are about to crush the hopes and dreams of hundreds of people.
Look how big the Star Destroyer is!
It's not the size of the Starship, but it's the matter of the time
we spent together. Remember what you've touched in my head.
Size.
Okay, I have spent a lot of time with Rob, and he has touched me deeply. And I am biased to the Enterprise.
Let's face it, we all know that Avery can take out a Super Star Destroyer. What chance does an Imperial Star Destroyer have against the Enterprise, really?
Thank you.
Executive take out Enterprise?
No, an A-Wing took out the Executive. Come on!
An
You take out an Imperial Star Destroyer like that.
A crashing.
Just get the Enterprise versus the Enterprise. Let's go. Come on.
An A-wing on fire. With a guy going,
Versus the Darkstar, which will bring us to our final round after we find out who they'll be fighting. Darkstar versus Enterprise.
Enterprise.
If you think it will be the Darkstar, based on all the brilliant hypotheses you've heard today, Darkstar, vote.
Crazy.
USS Enterprise
I'll remember this.
Or the the Enterprise from the original series. Could very well be an Enterprise versus Enterprise. With the JJ prize nowhere in sight.
But that has the cloaking device.
Defiant versus Enterprise. Defiant versus Enterprise. Before we put it to a vote, does anyone want to offer a helpful hint? Some insight, some morsel of knowledge on which they can base their highly considered votes. Okay?
Well,
yes. Yeah, we are. No, we're gonna turn it over to you.
I think that it would drive you people batshit to see the two enterprises face off. And you have to kill one of your children.
It's Sophie's choice. It's Starship Smackdown. Back to the Nazis. What is it with you and Nazis?
wait. More troubles, more tribbles. The Defiant actually encountered the original USS Enterprise. And without the crew of the Defiant, things would have gone very badly for Captain Kirk.
Good.
So I think, given the debt that the crew of the Enterprise actually owes to the crew of Deep Space Nine and the Defiant, that we have to give it to the Defiant.
Very
that was logical.
We're not actually voting. We are offering advice. Chris Cosby, do you want to offer any advice to you?
Well, I'm very glad you bring up that episode, actually, because Avery Brooks went back in time to learn from the great mentor of the past.
And got Kirk's autograph.
And got his
He had to go to
autograph.
my thing, Chris.
Again, if there had not been a Captain James Tiberius Kirk, would there have ever been the Defiant?
Better logic than yours.
The Defiant is a much more advanced starship than the Enterprise, and the captain has the advantage of knowing the history of tactics of Captain Kirk.
Well,
He also has a cloaking device, which the original Enterprise does not have.
Cloaking device.
You're blowing my mind right now, Jeff. You're blowing my mind.
Yeah, Jeff, those are some fancy words.
With your strategy and your cloaking device.
If you think the Borg killer, invented by the Federation, which would not exist if Captain Kirk had not saved it 900 times, would defeat the Enterprise, signal by voting yay fire. If you think the original Enterprise would defeat the Defiant, based solely on what you've heard from this panel of experts, vote Enterprise.
These are the most brilliant people at the whole Comic-Con.
It's come down to your and our worst nightmare. The Enterprise refit versus the original Starship Enterprise. It's Kirk versus Kirk. Shut it!
We saw this episode. What was the enemy with it? And here are you.
I want each of you in a very quick thing, give us your best argument why they should vote for the ship you believe should win. We will vote, and that will be the winner of Starship Smackdown 2012. Sponsored by Geek Magazine. Pick it up now.
As we know, in space, the tolerances of physics are very, very tight, and the slightest difference in mass can make an enormous difference. And as we all know, Scotty weighs about 150 pounds. Rest my case.
Well, I delivered Nutrisys to the Enterprise being the transport of them. Yes.
It boils down to this. You have to know why things work on a starship. Captain Kirk, operating from the refit USS Enterprise NCC 1701, no bloody A, B, C, D, or E, knows everything about the original USS Enterprise NCC 1701, no bloody blah, 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 blah. He would know exactly where to hit her, exactly how to hurt her. And Captain Kirk aboard the original USS Enterprise, well, my head hurts already. Wouldn't know enough about the refit USS Enterprise NCC 1701, no blah, 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 to know where to hit her. Also, he wouldn't know the transponder codes, which, of course, Captain Kirk on the refit USS Enterprise NCC 1701, blah, 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 would know.
The problem is those ships were play dead, trying to lure themselves in.
We almost lured him in.
It's a really boring episode.
Sauce for the goose.
Or the ultimate episode.
Rob Burnett, an enterpriseologist. You feed the enterprise.
It's a minor, actually, in enterprise.
You know, I'm a liberal, and I believe in justice for all people. But being an ageist, and as I grow into my middle age, I realize I just don't know what I used to know when I was younger. And
Sing us a song, you're the piano man.
In Star Trek 3, the refit Enterprise was sacrificed for 8 Klingons. 8.
Right.
That's all. And Captain Kirk burned her in the atmosphere of the Genesis planet. The old
Only good
Captain
scene in
Kirk.
the movie.
The old Captain Kirk. The Captain Kirk that I grew up and loved, that I emulate even today. That would never, don't see yourself. Sorry. Americans do not have enough of a sense of history. If you live in LA, things that are 5 years old are torn down and build something new. I think the classic Enterprise, that was the very basis of all modern science fiction that's on television and in movies. If we did not have classic Kirk and classic NCC 1701, none of this.
Okay.
I really appreciate the scientific thought that has been put into this discussion. I think it's very important that we draw on everything we know about spaceshipology. So I would like to get
There are no Nazis on board either ship.
even more,
There could have been patterns of force.
Voyager.
even more scientific about this discussion. Heads, Enterprise refit.
The heart of gold rears her ugly head.
Enterprise refit.
Steve Belgian, what do you think? What's your
While both ships are awesome, only one of them is awesome enough to be included in the permanent collection at the Smithsonian fucking institution.
Last piece of advice from Chris Gossett.
I'm so honored, Mark, that you would let me end this discussion. And I really appreciate Kay's impression of Two-Face. That was awesome. And I love Rob's point. It really made me weepy in a kind of way, in a Jim Croce kind of way. And when it comes down to it for me, it's about ratings. Now wait a minute.
How dare you? How dare you, sir?
Now,
what about syndication? What about syndication?
Now, in fact, Rob, you know what? You're right. I've seen the light, thanks to you, Rob.